Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin' Bros Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Holloway, Papa G with the traffic,
How you feel?
Not good.
Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
There it is. There it is. That deserves a round of applause today. There it is. You've earned it. You've absolutely earned that applause today.
As you can see here, meat. So go ahead and jot that down.
Finally figured out the intro. How long has that been? We had one back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that one's, we're going to add to that too.
As the years go by.
Yeah. It'll get weirder. As things are wont to do.
Oh, welcome to Fake News, kids. Bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week. We'll do some house cleaning here at the top. That BORTAC agent from yesterday is out of the hospital, and he's fine. He got a couple staples in his head, but he's going to be fine. And I think Mike, the cop, must be friends with him as well, because he posted a picture of his hat that I'd sent you yesterday. But he's doing fine, and we made him Drinkin' Bro of the Week yesterday. We will not say his name. Mm-hmm. We will not say his name. We'll give you some updates on the shooting in a second, but we got a lot of messages from you guys about yesterday's episode, and we greatly appreciate them. It was a delicate subject to talk about. Tried to do the best we can. Just thinking about it after yesterday, I don't know that anything is going to be done. I saw one of the top stories that is trending on Twitter right now is that the GOP rejected this new bill that was trying to get passed for terrorism or domestic terrorism.
Well, yeah, that's just, it's basically a CRT bill.
Yeah, in it, by the way, when you lead with your domestic terrorist or white supremacist,
Yeah.
people are going to shoot that bill down because then you're not making it bipartisan at that point. You're going with your own agenda. And let's face it, even in Steve Kerr's speech, he mentioned the last 3 shootings. And one guy was white, the other guy was Asian, and the other guy was Mexican. So
The white guy was a leftist. So, I mean, it's not like, none of that really fits with this whole narrative that's going on.
at all. So if you're going to put that in a bill and then expect it to pass and expect to receive bipartisanship support, you can't use language like that.
Well, I don't think they actually want to pass a bill. What they want is for the Republicans to look evil.
That's what I think too.
So you write a shitty bill that addresses the wrong issues, and you name it something like the bipartisan. Like almost all of the major bills that get pushed through committee these days have the word bipartisan at the front of them. Mm-hmm. That's not what that means. Bipartisan means that a bulk of both parties support it. Right? Not that you put that in the title of the goddamn bill. It's like the dumbest shit of all time, and anybody that falls for that is a fucking idiot.
Well, they do, and then Twitter runs with it, the media runs with it, and today it's, the GOP is evil. If you're going to do it, man, reach across the aisle, write something that is fair and balanced and isn't against one particular group or side, and you might have some better luck. The other thing that I learned after yesterday is with these school shootings and just shootings in general, I guess, it's about 2 hours before people just go back to being shitty human beings again.
Yeah.
There's about 2 hour, you have a 2 hour window where you're like, oh man, we're all in this together and things are going on. And then it's, no, I don't fucking care. There was a guy yesterday, we bitch about getting trucks and things on the show all the time for like tax purposes, right? Mm. So you and I put these orders in, a year in advance, and then you're lucky to get a call like once every 6 months, and then you kind of do it, and you have to show up on a whim and do it. One of them, yesterday when we were doing that show about the school shooting, I'm going to read his fucking name, Brandon from Covert GMC. this fucking guy was calling. He's like, I got a truck for you guys. I was like, great, man. We're doing a show about the school shooting. Don't think I can get to that right now. I usually keep my phone with me here. It's only for my wife, to be honest with you, just to make sure kids are okay. I'm certain, because of how much we record, I will one day get that call that something has happened and I will have to leave. But that is the only reason why my phone is even next to my desk. Otherwise, my friends are in this room, and I really don't have anyone else in this life. But this fucking car dealer, Brandon from GMC, covert, I was like, sorry about that. You know, hope, thoughts, and prayers. I'm gonna need that credit report filled out. And it was like 20 fucking text messages. And I was like, bro, we put down payments for all this shit. Like, it should be there. And I literally was just like, I'm all done with this. And there was just one more text that sent me over the edge. It was like, there's 1 million people who want this truck, and it's important. And I was like,
call one of them then, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Nothing you think is important is important.
No, especially after doing a show like yesterday. Like, I don't know about you, but you kind of go, because I really enjoyed yesterday's show, and I enjoyed our conversation together. And a lot of these shows affect me because I try to do my best every single day. If I have a bad show, usually you guys in this room are the first people I tell about it. I'm not fucking stoked. Like, it ruins my day. But that show we did yesterday was one where it's just, you're trying to think about everything and process everything, and you walk home or you drive home, and you're like, man, I don't know if anything is going to get done or whatever. And then today with this GOP thing, obviously it's not, and we're still miles and miles apart from anything really changing in this country. But you at least want to have the conversation, and you take a lot of these shows home with you. And you realize there's just people in the world who just don't give a fuck about anything that's going on at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like Brandon from Covert GMC. And then everybody else starts calling later on in the evening, and you're like, that's it, that's done. I don't even believe this story is trending on Twitter anymore.
No.
Right?
No, I don't think so.
Just gone. It's kind of washed. When we did Ross Patterson Revolution this morning, the top story was Ray Liotta, and that bumped everything, like, off of Twitter. Usually, I think it's top 30 now. It used to be 10, now it's 20. I think it might be top 30 on Twitter of trending topics. It's one of those things where when a celebrity dies, usually their top 10 films start trending afterwards. Just push that story completely off the thing that was done.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine people just, I don't know, I think this is true in general. People feel both overwhelmed and disenfranchised with everything in American life right now. So, what else? What can you do? Like, if
it's a great question.
I mean, if that's the way you're processing stuff, what is it? I've always wondered that. How long are you supposed to grieve? Probably longer than the 3 hours Barack Obama waited. But
this is exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Even from a shitty car dealer and a shitty car dealership to the former president of the United States, it's about 2 to 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
It was 3.5 hours between the time that the shooting happened at 11:30 a.m. Central to 3 p.m. Central is about when Obama made this really, really stupid tweet.
Yeah, so with this tweet, obviously it gets shared all over social media, Instagram, everything else. This is why we call it fake news here on Thursday. I thought it was fake. I thought somebody was just kind of fucking around, and I was like, timing's a little too soon for this, for my taste. First of all, I was unaware that it was the 2-year anniversary of George Floyd's death.
Yeah.
Are we celebrating 2 years for anything? Like 9/11, I understand. Pearl Harbor.
I don't give a fuck about George Floyd. He's a fucking crackhead.
Yeah, I was all done with that story after Homeboy went to jail. I was all done with it.
Yeah.
But now we're going to celebrate his life every year as if he's a martyr.
He's not. He's a crackhead.
Yeah.
Well, now he's a dead crackhead.
Yeah.
So
there you have it. But Obama he took time out of his day to recognize him and give him the 2-year remembrance that he deserved here. Bob, can you pull up that tweet so I can read aloud? Should I try to do my Barack voice? Should I try to give it a go here? As we grieve the children of Uvalde today. No, I'm not going to finish the rest of it like that. We should take the time to recognize that 2 years have passed since the murder of George Floyd under the knee of a police officer. His killing stays with us today, especially those who loved him.
Especially that woman who he held, the pregnant woman who he held at gunpoint with a gun against her pregnant belly. Yeah. So he could rob her house. She's probably super sad today.
I would imagine. And thoughts and prayers go out to her as well, obviously, because so we're dishing those out here on a 48-hour basis. So let's do that. What was it, 3 hours? Were you right?
It's about 3.5 hours.
Okay, cool. Cool.
For the former president of the United States.
Just got to squeeze that in, huh?
To take the attention off of 19 children 10 years and younger who were just murdered by a fucking psychopath so he could bring up some political point.
Yeah.
Right.
But is it a political point? Like,
sure, yeah, because they're doing fundraising off of it. That was the point. If you look further down that tweet, it's the MBK Alliance Reimagining Policing Pledge. It's.
Did he post a link to that?
Yeah, it's Obama.org, but it's.
All right, pop that up. And I've never heard of the MBK Alliance. Yeah, you're right. It's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it is.
Okay. And what do they do exactly?
Nothing really. I mean, it's just like you can read their website if you'd like, but they basically are trying to profit off of the deaths of Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, etc. This is just the president's own version of Black Lives Matters.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
But, like, nothing actually gets done.
Yeah, I was going to say, where does this money go to?
Who the fuck knows? I mean...
You sang it in a sport coat today, too? Gives me all the feels.
It was just a little chilly in here.
Yeah, of course. You got to throw in the old sport coat from time to time. I might as well one day.
Yeah, but I mean, this is nothing new. We've known Obama as a cunt for a long time. And on behalf of reasonable people everywhere, Barack, shut your cunt mouth. Pretty simple there. There's also a lot of questions about how the police handled this situation.
In Uvalde or in George Floyd?
No, I think they got it right on George Floyd.
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, in Uvalde, it seems like I've heard a lot of different information so far. So the original story, and we all know this is the way these things go now, but the original story was he got engaged by resource officers, police that were on scene there. That's not true. That never happened. He let himself in through an unlocked door. Well,
he did, and so I've seen the footage. Now, it looks like when he's entering the school, someone is shooting at him.
No. That didn't. He
so were the bullets that we're hearing in that video his bullets then?
They must be, because according to the police reports, they did not engage him on the way in.
Okay, because I watched the footage, and so I could hear the bullets. I just assumed they were firing at him. So that was not the case. That's not real?
He may have been firing through the door, but my understanding is he made it through the classroom or the back door into a second room and then into a classroom.
Correct.
Unabated. That's the...
Okay, so I again, seeing the footage, I did see him go through the door, and yes, it was unlocked, and he was able to get in.
Yeah. So BORTAC happened to be nearby, and they were given command authority. This is what happens in the ICS, the Incident Command System. Mm-hmm. So the first responders often show up, like fire, EMS, police, all often show up to the same scene, and there's a system to determine who's going to get authority on that scene, right, depending on what the circumstances are. Obviously, a guy that's barricaded with a rifle, not a great idea to send in regular patrol officers that have handguns, because they're just going to get lit the fuck up on their way in. So BORTAC's nearby. They've got long guns. They've got special training. good decision to put them in charge, for sure. What I don't understand is why it took 90 minutes. Now, I've heard from somebody with knowledge of the situation that there was a fire door that they couldn't get through. But I find it very hard to believe that BORTAC doesn't have breach charges and flashbangs, such that the kid was allowed to stay inside that building for 90 minutes without being stopped. 96 minutes, actually, I think, or 86 minutes. It was an hour and 26 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, it says here the attack lasted about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, was this from the grandmother going into the school?
That's just at the school.
Just in the school.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to find out what exactly happened here.
Same, because there was a father yesterday who was speaking about this 90 minutes
Yeah.
that you were talking about here in this article, and he was furious about it. That was the first time that a lot of us had heard it.
Yeah. One of the, Sagarnetti actually just posted this. I don't know if it came from AP or where it came from. I can't remember who he linked to, but federal marshals were also on scene. They handcuffed one of the female parents for some fucking reason.
So the other thing that I had read was parents were outside and they tried to get inside the school.
Yeah, now if my kid is inside of a school and you can't get in there to save him, I will fucking kill you and everybody in my fucking way until I get there, and I'll tear that goddamn building down with my bare hands if I have to.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that an agency like BORTAC doesn't have breach charges or something to get in there. And if you're not willing to go in there and risk your life, like, I don't know what happened there. I know that one guy did take some rounds. He got his head clipped a little bit and had to get some staples in there. But nothing takes 90 minutes. Not one goddamn way that any of this shit should take 90 minutes. So there's a lot of questions to be answered. There's some questions about why the officers outside tased one of the fathers, right? Why they had a woman in handcuffs pinned to the ground. This is unacceptable. All of this stuff is unacceptable. So a lot of weird stuff has happened. We don't have a lot of clarity on those issues yet, so I'm not going to pass judgment. I will say, though, that in that circumstance, it is completely unacceptable for it to have taken 90 minutes.
Let me ask you this, because we don't know if this is true or not. Obviously, we'll wait for all the facts to come in. What is the proper protocol if somebody is barricaded inside a classroom with children?
Flashbangs.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I would, whether you have to pop a window out there's a million different ways to do this shit. But whether you got to pop a window out or put a door charge on it or something like that, like a smart, quote unquote, hostage taker is going to put hostages in between themselves and the breach points, certainly. But, swinging a sledgehammer through a fucking window and then throwing a flashbang through it is going to help you quite a bit in getting in that room unharmed and then killing the guy. So, this is something that BORTAC does this. They're a tactical organization. Like, it's one of the most specialized organizations in the entire Department of Homeland Security. So I'm not, again, we'll have to wait and see what the reports on this are. But to be honest, as is the case at anything like this, there's quite a bit of cover your ass in the report.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, because this story's changing every 20 minutes. It feels like, because like the AP right now is reporting upwards of 40 minutes is what they're saying. But there is video of a woman. This is confirmed by AP, saying go in there, who shouted at officers soon after the attack began. The guy's name was Juan Carranza, 24, who saw the scene from outside of his house across the street from the elementary school. He's saying that the officers did not go in. So he's not saying BORTAC didn't go in. He's saying the police officers didn't go in. This is saying police were at the scene first. So,
yeah, I think my understanding is that a tactical decision was made to not send in police. Now, I don't know why those police didn't have long guns or whatever, but they certainly probably didn't have flashbangs and shit like that. I mean, BORTAC is basically like a SWAT team, so they're gonna have hooligan tools and other sorts of breaching capabilities, water impulse charge or whatever it is, to be able to get those doors down and fucking kill that dude. I mean, basically, they left those kids in there with that dude to die because they didn't think they could get in there without getting more people fucked up. And that's harsh, But that is a tactical decision sometimes you have to make.
So he says that upset that the police were not moving in, he raised the idea of charging into the school with several other bystanders. He says, and I quote, let's just rush in because the cops aren't doing anything like they're supposed to. More could have been done. They were extremely unprepared. That's what he's saying. And minutes earlier, this same guy had watched Ramos crash his truck into the ditch outside the school. Now, in the video that I saw, it was just of the shooter going into the school. I have not seen any video thus far in which police were outside the building yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're still piecing all this together, but let's be really clear about this. And I don't want to, again, I don't know exactly what happened in this scenario, but we've had multiple instances over the last couple of years where police officers have stood around outside. Parkland is one of them. Yeah. There was one in Chicago as well, I believe, where the guy just fucking stayed outside and wouldn't go in. You know, I don't know how long it took to get a specialized unit there. But I know that they were there for a while before they were able to get in. Now, again, I'm told that there was a fire door that they couldn't breach. Okay. I mean, you can blow a hole through the fucking wall, bro. Yeah. I mean, this isn't like, I don't know what level of training BORTAC gets, but they take down like cartel dudes. That's what they do. They don't go after fucking people who are in the country illegally and shit. They go after the cartels, and they get into heavy gunfights a lot. Like, you know, Rocco.
Sure.
Like, this is a serious organization, and I find it extremely hard to believe that they weren't prepared to go through a wall.
I don't know that it was BORTAC, though. According to these statements, this sounds like it was just the police, so possibly they were waiting for BORTAC. But I'm with you. If it was a fire door, I mean, again, just having kids, like I said yesterday, there's plenty of other doors you could also go through. You
make your own door. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we used to carry around, and again, war is not the same thing as being a police officer. There's no question about that. But we would have particle board, like a 3 foot by 3 foot piece of particle board with a water impulse charge on it, or a shape charge, which is like a galvanized pipe. You cut it in half, put a fucking explosive inside of it, put it up against you basically put 2-sided tape on it, put it on the wall, fucking pull the pins, and it blows the whole fucking wall out. Sometimes you have to make decisions. Like if a guy's in there, what we know about this particular situation is that people that go into this situation don't plan on coming out alive, right? So anything you can do to get in there and stop them as soon as possible saves lives, even if you put other lives at risk while you're doing it. That's just it's a zero-sum game at that point, in my opinion. But it's easy. It's also easy to sit back and fucking judge people for how they behaved in a certain situation. We're still collecting a lot of information here. Gigi asked a question of what would Christian Craighead do? I know exactly what he would have done. He would have torn that goddamn place to pieces to get those kids out.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin Walters is saying here, again, this is all speculation, but he says, I bet they were trying to flex and act like they're superior, and those agents said F it and went in. I'm not sure in regards to yesterday's show.
I mean, in a situation like that with an armed person inside of a building, as soon as an agency like as soon as a group like BORTAC shows up, they immediately assume operational control.
Right.
That's just how that works.
So that would lead me to believe, at least, if these statements are correct through the AP, that it was police and they might have been waiting for them to get there. But either way, why not just go in? I guess if you're out there, shit, and you were there, there's a few listeners who were physically there who hit us up. So, yeah, let me know, and I will be happy to share your side of the story. I'm sure it will come out. However, the only video we have right now is the one where you hear gunshots with him entering the building.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
As I mentioned yesterday, the most important time to be calm and reasonable is when nobody else is. Now is that time. Like,
sure.
Speculation doesn't help. We don't know yet what's happening. I would say, though, that you should continue to ask questions because what we know about the government, whether it's police or politics, they will cover up shit if you let them, if things went wrong. And it's not just about finding somebody to blame. It's about plugging a hole in our fucking system. You know what I mean? It's about making sure this shit doesn't happen again. And if it does, we're ready. That's the point. It's not about fucking blaming somebody for it. It's about the best time to do a review of your security protocols is after an incident.
Right.
And the other thing to keep in mind is that for this particular type of event, for mass shooting style events, it is very common for there to be multiple copycats within a short period of time.
And that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened yesterday. There was some threats called into a couple of ISDs here in Texas.
Correct.
Today as well.
One, they found I believe, an AR-15 and a replica of some other gun in the kid's car in the parking lot of a high school.
The other gun, I think, was like one of those gel blaster guns.
What's a gel blaster?
It's like a paintball pellet gun, but it's like a little gel ball instead that's biodegradable, I think. They actually look pretty fun, to be honest.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's
it's pretty common for this. And as far as this 90-minute story, so I had read that earlier in the morning, by the way. That 90 minutes came from a father that has since been cut to 40, according to the AP News, and I'll quote them because they're the ones saying this. So I'll wait for the rest of the facts to come out. I am sure within a matter of weeks we will have an exact timeline of who, when, and why. Very similar to, I remember that Vegas shooting. The way they finally broke that down once they released it, months and months later, then it all made sense. Right now, it doesn't make sense, and we'll give this a little time here. But if you were there and you want to hit us up, just go to Instagram, DM us. That's probably the quickest. I don't really check Facebook that much anymore.
I mean, so there's a lot that we do know, though. So let's make some assumptions. Everything is happening inside of one classroom at this point. He had access to two, but he used one to get to the other, right? I'm curious how he was able to use one unlocked door to get to another unlocked door, but the police weren't. That's curious to me.
Yes.
Because there wouldn't be a magnetized fire door between two adjacent classrooms. That's not how buildings work.
Correct.
So that's very bizarre to me. I want to hear something about that. And I want to hear about, so it's a difficult situation. Let's say it's all confined to one classroom. 19 kids are dead. Typically, those classrooms are 25 to 30 kids. So there's, you don't know who's dead and who's alive in there. You don't know if the shooter is out of ammo or whatever, unless they're still shooting. You have no idea what's going on in there. You can't just put a fucking door charge on the door and blow it off, because those things go pretty quickly in there, and if there's anybody in the way, they're going to die. There's a lot to figure out here.
Yeah,
is what I would say.
There is. Another thing to figure out is our next story. Uncle Touchy, Kevin Spacey. Man, that doesn't end, does it?
Well, he got out of it here in America, but
he did. I was unaware that it was still going on overseas. Kevin Spacey is once again in hot water. The actor, 62, was charged with 4 counts of sexual assault and 1 other sex offense, and is now due to appear in court. All the counts were allegedly carried out between 2005 and 2013 on men who are now aged in their 30s and 40s. Rosemary Ainsley, head of the CPS Special Crime Division, said the CPS has authorized criminal charges against Kevin Spacey, 62, for 4 counts of sexual assault against 3 men. He's also been charged with causing a person to engage in penetrative sexual activity without consent. The charges follow a review of the evidence gathered by Metropolitan Police in its investigation. London's Old Vic Theatre, where Spacey was an artistic director from 2004 to 2015, also apologized as it revealed it had received allegations of inappropriate behavior. Spacey has denied all accusations against him, and the final U.S. criminal case was closed in July of 2019. Yeah, this has been about 3 years since I've heard about this, so that's correct. Now, this Old Vic Theatre, that is it's their version of Broadway, essentially. It's like the best theater in London. I had heard that he had two actors backstage that were, some incidents were questionable. I don't know what that involved exactly, but I'm assuming that's probably what they are.
Well, what's the penetrative one? Because that's a very suggestive term, but it could also mean that you put your hands in somebody's mouth, right?
Right.
Technically. I doubt that's the case. When I hear male-on-male sexual assault and somebody says penetrate, obviously I'm thinking of dicks and butts.
Sure. Sure.
Now, the only way that I'm aware of that somebody can get a dick in your butt without your consent is for you to be like knocked out or restrained or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Kevin Spacey's not exactly a powerful man. I don't. What is he, like 5'7" or some shit? 5'8"?
Yeah, he's not that big in real life. Max 5'8".
He's 5'10".
Is he really?
If it says
That's a
5'10",
lie.
then
He's
he's
5'8".
5'8".
Yeah.
That's
Look
about
at Tom Cruise's height.
That's about what I expect. To be honest, because of the age of the charges, there's a good chance that the statute of limitations kicked in here in the United States, and that's why they couldn't pursue it. And the UK may not have that kind of scenario.
Gotcha.
I don't know, but it's at least he's definitely gay. We know that now, right?
Well, that he came out and said from the get-go when all this shit first started, but that wasn't a shock to anybody.
No.
At all. Myself included. We've said this on the show numerous times before that story broke. He was definitely gay. Now, I'm looking at these years here, 2005 to 2013, and the guys are now in their 30s or 40s, so let's just go back to 2005. Clearly, that's when the first incident happened. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at 17 years ago. So, yeah, these kids were probably in their teens, I would say.
It's going to be hard to prosecute crimes that are that old without physical evidence and shit.
So this is what I thought, too, with the Harvey Weinstein thing. But they got him, and there was no physical DNA evidence for this.
Yeah, but he's a fucking moron, right?
How so?
Witnesses, people inside of his own organization that helped him do the shit he was doing that didn't want that's the problem, right? It's how these people always get taken down is they use lower level subordinates to facilitate. That's how Jared got caught because of the people who were Jared from Subway.
Oh, I was like, hey, Jared Taylor? I was like, Jesus.
No. Jared from Subway got caught because he had a couple of his employees that were finding the kids for him. And then once they're the ones that get caught, but as fucked up as it is, the government doesn't want to prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell,
right?
The person who's actually stealing and taking the kids to get raped. They want to prosecute the big name. You know what I mean?
Well, she is gone now, right? Like that's all over. What is it?
So far as I know, she's probably dead, right? I mean,
who knows?
We haven't heard from her in months.
And then we certainly haven't heard from anybody on that list or was inside that book.
She's the first person to ever get convicted of trafficking something, whether it's a drug or a person, but no one who was on the receiving end of the trafficking got even indicted or questioned. I mean, that's pretty weird.
It's wild. Now, in the case of Kevin Spacey, so here's what I can say Hollywood-wise. Every time I would see him out, and he went out a lot, he was always with like 10 to 15 dudes who looked on the cusp, right? One of them was a buddy of ours, and I was like, hey, when we came up to him during this party, and I go, hey, dude, what are you doing with Kevin Spacey? Like, and he goes, oh, man, he said he was going to mentor me. And I was like, yeah, he's definitely going to do that.
But it's mentor your butthole.
Yeah, it's not the mentoring you were hoping for. But what I kept thinking was, because every time we would see him out, it was always, again, with a large group of younger dudes that looked very on the cusp of 18, I'll say. Maybe just a little bit older, maybe 17, I don't know. But what I will say is this, is to organize 15 dudes like that to roll out in a posse, like to different parties and shit, that's got to take somebody else on your team to do it and get a hold of these people. Kevin Spacey, for the last, 30 years, minus, all this other shit that happened, was one of the busiest working actors in Hollywood. This leads me to believe that there may be some handlers or somebody that was working for him. This is similar to what you said about Ghislaine and those guys. Like, I think they probably have something from somebody who was working with him at the time. And over at the Old Vic Theater, he probably hired locals there to work for him because he was over there a lot. So I bet you one of them flipped. That's just a guess.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's why you do all your raping in private. Just a tip from me to you.
Just gotta leave that single on Dan. No, I want him to live in that. There you go. There it is. Look at it. Just look at him. Take a nice long look.
The only way to keep a secret between two people is to kill one of the people. Right?
And if you're gonna kill a person, let them die in comfort on a ghost bed from ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. The fact that they let us still read ads like this is amazing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on another one that lets us read shit like this. ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 40% off the bundle package. Woo! Woo! Sleep so good, it's scary over there at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. If you're going to get murdered, you want to do it on the adjustable base. And with the remote control, if it goes all the way up, it can actually sandwich you in. I don't know if you can die from it. My guess is yes. Depends on your weight, your flexibility.
Yeah, but if you're trying to suck your own dick too, it can be very handy.
Very handy.
I would just say probably put a lanyard through the remote and tether it to your wrist or something. Because if it falls and you're stuck in that position, now you're fucked, right? You know.
But if you are getting fucked, again, you want to do it on a ghost bed from ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Use the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout if you want 30% off of everything in the entire store. So if you just want the pillows or the sheets, the blankets, the weighted blankets, or just the mattress by itself, or just the adjustable base by itself, whatever, fill up the whole goddamn cart. And then enter the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout for 30% off. And for all of 2022, they get a 60-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest there if you have decent credit. So you can bundle all those deals together with that one and walk out of there with a beautiful brand new bedroom set for about $25 a month. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Next up, Biden sticks his foot in his mouth once again as tension with China escalates. Joe Biden's handlers at the White House recently had to walk back statements made by our old commander-in-chief at a press conference on Monday during a visit to Japan, in which Biden was asked if the U.S. would get involved militarily if China were to attack Taiwan. And Biden responded, yes, that's the commitment we made. Now,
which is correct, by the way. That is the commitment we made.
Right.
Just to be clear.
To be clear. Now, the statement came as a surprise to members of Biden's administration who were quick to claim his comment meant the exact opposite of what he said. Soon after Biden's remarks, the White House issued a statement to reporters which said, as the president said, our policy has not changed. We reiterated, let's go, Ross, our one China policy and our commitment to peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. Any relation to George or?
No.
Okay.
No, it's Taiwan gay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is the other one on there? So, the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin went on to chime in as well and support the claim that Biden's words didn't mean what they sounded like they meant, telling reporters, I think the president was clear on the fact that the policy has not changed. To practice these phrases in front of a mirror before you go out and do it, it's probably taking a lot out of their day.
I can't imagine he's doing a whole lot of practicing.
Not Biden. But as far as these other people who have to speak for him, to break down those sentences and then go out and try to communicate what they actually meant or didn't mean. Because a lot of this shit, and we talked about this when this happened, I think a week ago. I said this remark had to be off the fucking cuff. Like, there's no way that was scripted and all of his shit is scripted. It had to be off the cuff. And sure enough, the White House did confirm that it was an off the cuff remark.
Yeah, I mean,
this is where he's getting into trouble.
But this is too complicated of a situation for him to be talking about because he's a fucking moron, right? We have the actual policy towards Taiwan is that we do have a treaty with them that would require us to respond militarily if they were attacked. But we have a public position of ambiguity about it, right? And we do that on purpose so as not to stoke war with the second largest country on earth, population or economically, not population-wise. So,
I'm surprised they're not number one, by the way.
yeah, just there's a lot of pores over there.
Okay.
But yeah, he can't do anything right. You gotta wonder about the mental health of the people that work in his administration, and I don't mean because they support him. I mean but from supporting him. It's got to be a lot like working in the Trump administration, like when whomever Trump's press secretary was at any given time, whether it was Spicer or somebody else. It's like, hey,
Huckabee Sanders had to deal with it the most.
What did Trump mean by that? Like, I don't fucking know.
Exactly.
How the fuck am I supposed to answer that question, dude? Like, I don't fucking know. And the only way to get yourself inside of the mind of an 80-year-old guy with dementia is to fucking do a bunch of drugs and then hit yourself in the head with a hammer. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to answer these questions?
Yeah, and look, it was the same way when Trump was there, and he would go off the cuff with shit that was wild. Then Homegirl had to go in and answer for it. And there's a high turnover rate for these White House press secretaries, simply because they have to deal with so much bullshit where it's just like, God damn it, just stick to the fucking script. I'm sure all of them have said the same thing over time. I bet you they all get together for a fucking luncheon and have mimosas and shit. I really do. Regardless of what party you're in, I bet you they all get together and they're like, hey, man, you fucking believe the shit we had to do today to cover up for this asshole? Either way, this fucking remark was careless and irresponsible, and you don't make a threat like that against China.
Well, I mean,
there's only a couple countries in the world that would really start a world war over, right?
Sure, yeah, but we should be doing that. But not Biden shouldn't be doing it. America should be saying, fuck China. Every chance we get, we should be like, no, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
But we don't have the balls to do it. Two, we don't have the competency in our government to do it. And I don't mean just now. I mean for the last fucking 40 years to make a statement. That is what we should be doing. We should have spent the last 15 years building a pipeline of rare earth minerals and production facilities for microchips. And the reason that Taiwan is in play here is because most fucking microprocessing chip come from Taiwan.
Yep.
Like the majority of the world's processing chips do that. So, we continue to dig ourselves holes and then try to act tough from the bottom of the pit. But we're a bunch of fucking dummies.
We are. Just mindless dummies who are looking to make a little extra cash here and there. That's all we are. And if you're out there looking to make some extra cash, go to mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin' Bros. Double your deposit up to $1,000. Baseball season's back, obviously, full swing. You guys just did the baseball show on Drinkin' Bros Sports about 20 minutes ago. Tomahawked is the show. It's a Brave sportscast, which is fucking awesome. You guys are gaining new followers in that one. 162 games to bet on. It's the time of year where you're so fucking bored you're just throwing money on shit. I'm betting on every single NBA game every night in the playoffs just because we can at this point. Now, the Warriors are going to fuck us because they're already they're going to be in after tonight, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
What's the point spread? It's 6.5 on my bookie.
Yeah. And it should be larger.
They're gonna roll.
They're gonna roll this.
I'll say, as far as baseball goes, I put some money on Kyle Wright hitting that over on the strikeouts tonight. If you need a good prop,
what is it, 5.5?
5.5.
I'm gonna take 6.5 on the Warriors tonight. You're taking that baseball prop tonight. All right. Getting started is simple. Deposit $300. You can play with $200 instantly, or just use the promo code Drinkin' Bros and boom, put in $1,000. You get $1,000 back. They'll also match you if you do a hundo. You get another hundo back. They will double your deposit. So whatever you put in at mybookie.com, they will double it overnights with the promo code Drinkin' Bros. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros will double that old deposit. Next up, Putin returns to Russia. He returns it to the Soviet-era glory. Partially, Dan. Partially. Okay? Russia's invasion of Ukraine has yet to put the territory back under control of the Kremlin, but it has brought back at least one aspect of Soviet-era life. Western sanctions against Russia have resulted in shortages, which locals old enough to remember are comparing to the days of the old Soviet Union. You had to go down to the street corner, make an appointment, and by appointment, I mean send one of your children out there and have them stand in line for fucking potatoes.
Yeah, to get some cold soup.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Everyday goods, once imported from the West, are now being replaced with lower quality substitutes as Russia attempts to fill the void left by the sanctions, although the Russian economy is doing pretty well. Better than ours.
Right.
By the way.
Now, would you say this is a good or a bad thing? Because this hardens you as a man, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if it was somewhere else, it might be effective. But the reason that I think it's not effective in Russia is because they've been through this shit relatively recently already.
Right.
Like austerity for them and us is not the same.
No.
It's just like if I get home today later and my dinner's not made, Brittany's getting fucked up. You know what I mean?
Just getting a rap on the beak.
No, she's actually over hanging out with your baby right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She like sent me a picture and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
She goes, it's a child. I'm like, that's disgusting.
It does not look like my dinner is what you should have wrote back.
No, but with it, like the way we conceptualize hardship is so much different than them. So we think that we're doing stuff to them that's making it tough on them, and they're like, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? It's like trying to run a marathon with Cam Hanes. Like, I'm not doing that. That's not the game you should be in if you're trying to win the race.
Right. And then, because the other one, too, I don't know if you heard this yesterday. So Starbucks is pulling out all of their locations as well. So Starbucks.
Pete's, it's your time, brother.
Where's Pete's at, dude?
That's a California-based company, right?
Dunkin' Donuts is popping in there.
Or how are Canada-Russian relationships? Maybe Tim Hortons.
Yeah, Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons would pick it up.
Yeah, who knows?
Pick it up. Pete's. I don't know who that is. Who invented Pete's? I mean, obviously his name has to be Pete, right?
It's in California.
Bob, look up who invented Pete's coffee.
Dave Pete's.
It's Pete. Is it really?
No.
It's P-E-E-T.
Alfred Pete.
Okay.
Alfred Pete.
I haven't heard a good old-fashioned Alfred in a while.
Berkeley, California.
1966.
Huh.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah, honestly, just looking at the dude, it says he's Dutch-American, but he kind of seems like maybe
Alfred Pete?
like a Nazi scientist or something.
Pull up a picture of Alfred Pete.
Yeah,
Let's be the judge of that today.
He definitely looks like, it's like, what are you? Like, it's like if you want to lie about being an American, you're like, no, I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
This is like, you German? No, Dutch, I'm Dutch.
It says he was born in the Netherlands in 1920, but to whom, I guess.
Yeah, let's see a pic. Let's see a pic of this guy, and then we'll make the judgment call. Okay?
Yeah. There's a picture of him standing next to a coffee roaster that's pretty good.
Old one or new one?
Old one. I mean, there's no new ones because he's been dead for 15 years.
Has he really?
Yeah.
R.I.P., dude.
Well,
Here we go.
Too soon.
yeah, here we go.
Kind of looks like Liam Neeson with glasses. Like an older Liam Neeson would play him.
To me, he looks like a guy that you might run across in Argentina and wonder, why is this white man here?
Yeah, but it looks questionable. Where you're like, is it white or is there some different pigment in there?
It's
Not sure.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Speaking of pigment, we're gonna use one of our Latino workers here for a second, okay? Nick, if you would do me the honor here of holding up the White Sox jersey with Ray Liotta, one of our guests and homies from the show here, who comes on quite a bit, and we do a lot of stuff with those guys at Burbiz. So he gave us this White Sox signed jersey when he was here 2 weeks ago. As you can see, this is signed by Ray Liotta. We literally just got this back from getting shadow framed. And when Scott Davidson was on the show, I shouldn't be laughing about this, but you can put it down, Nick. I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. I don't know what that's worth now, but it's awesome, and it's going up in the new studio. When Scott Davidson was on the show, for those of you who remember that episode, we talked about Dwayne Haskins for about 15 minutes. Out of the blue, it was about a week before he died, right?
And then Sean
Young, yeah.
Young from Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Finkel.
Finkel.
Was the other jersey here. Those are the three people we talked about on the show, and two of them since a month and a half ago are now dead.
And so to Scott Davidson at Burbiz, I'd like to say you're the fucking hangman now.
Yeah.
And he texted me 15 minutes ago.
You gotta wonder.
He says the Deadpool is now on Sean Young.
Yeah.
Don't put that on her. Scott, God damn it. And obviously I had to write back. She gone. She's that.
Yeah.
What does she have? A week left? 2 weeks left?
Hawk.
So if you're out there and you're around Xiangyang, she does a lot of Comic-Cons these days. So just get a pic real quick. So at least you have something for social media when they die, and you can be like, oh man, I miss insert celebrity so much. I just saw her 2 weeks ago, and here's my picture with Xiangyang.
Isn't Ken Harrelson and Steve Stone, aren't they the White Sox broadcasters now? Like Ken Harrelson's he gone.
Oh, yeah.
Hawk Harrelson, he's gone now. He gone.
He gone, yeah.
Is he dead?
He's not dead. I think he just retired.
Oh, Bob. What the fuck, dude? You're really jumping the gun there. If he's
gotta-
alive, he's alive. He's probably calling the game in his bathtub right
He
now.
grew up near where I grew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's one of my favorite broadcasters.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, dude, Scott, I'm going to put this on you. Every time you come on, it's a fucking jinx, bro.
Yeah, well, we need to be more selective about who we talk about while he's here.
Well, I was thinking about this.
'Cause I've
Do
got a
we
list.
bring up people that we don't like
Yes.
and then have Scott bring us some autograph memorabilia from them, and then they'll die a couple weeks later?
Maybe.
I don't know who
It's-
I would put money on, though.
Well,
at
it's
this
hard
point.
to get ISIS to sign things. That's the problem. Although I think Turkey captured the new ISIS leader today or yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's just a new dude every time.
Yeah. Somebody else will pop up out of a cave, right? That's kind of how that works.
Out of the cave or out of the Saudi royal family, one of the two. Right?
Goddamn right. That's why you always got to keep your optics on from EuroOptic.com, D'Anthony. Man, I'm on fire with the segues today, I feel like. I could be wrong and just yanking my dick too soon, but I feel like they've been good today.
Well, Euro Optics, I've actually I bought some stuff from them last week.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard of these guys yet, EuroOptic is an online retailer of optics, firearms, hunting apparel, and outdoor gear. They carry all the major brands we know and love, like Vortex, Night Force, Leopold, Beretta, CZ, you name it, hundreds more. EuroOptic, it's a veteran-owned company based in central Pennsylvania. Their team of customer service reps really are the best in the industry. I know you were chatting with those guys the other day. They're all hunters, shooters, and outdoor enthusiasts, so they have firsthand knowledge of the gear they offer. I'm telling you, nobody's better than these guys. I even hit up Dion the other day, a couple days ago, and he's like, dude, I've bought some optics from those guys. They're great. And I was like, all right, great. It's confirmed within the industry. If you're familiar with EuroOptic, and you already know they have faster shipping than anyone else. With their red shipping, you will get your purchase shipped the same day, and it'll be on your doorstep in 1 to 2 days for free.
Yeah, unlike some of the other organizations that you can buy optics online, they don't sell shit that they aren't going to have in stock for 4 months.
Correct.
Which is what what's it called? Optics Planet. Fuck those guys. They do that shit all the time. I bought stuff from them. Like I have a telescope, a Celestron telescope, and they sell shit like that too. And I bought one, and they sent me a letter 2 months later and said, "Hey, that's not going to be in stock for 3 months." I'm like, "What the fuck are you? You sold me something that you didn't have."
Right.
That's why EuroOptic is different. If you see it on their website, it is, and it qualifies for red shipping. It is literally in their warehouse right now.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And all of the glass that I buy and all the red dots and shit that I buy comes from here for that reason.
Yeah, and all you have to do is go to www.eurooptic.com/drinkinbros. That is eurooptic.com/drinkinbros to see everything they have to offer.
Yeah. Also, I probably need to buy a laser rangefinder from them because you and I have a bet coming up soon.
Oh, yeah, for baseball? Oh, I'm fucking all in on that, by
Yeah,
the way.
Ross thinks that he can throw a baseball over a standard outfield fence, corner outfield, left or right field.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've bet him $1,000 that there's no fucking way that can happen.
And the beauty of it is we have, so what's the measurements here? We have a baseball field right behind us, actually.
Well, that's why I need the laser rangefinder.
Okay.
To see exactly, because if it's like a 220-foot fence, then fuck that, I can kick the ball that far.
Well, you also bet me against you as well, that you could throw it farther than me.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, so we have $1,000 on that. I think I can hit this building on the fly from that home plate.
Does anybody want to chime in on that?
There's no way.
Delco, you're a hater.
Do you have a baseball on you?
Do I think you can throw a baseball farther than Ross?
No, do you think he on this field right back here can throw a ball from the home plate and hit this building?
No.
Okay. Grab a baseball.
You've
A lot
got
of
a bucket
haters.
at your house.
No, I don't have it on.
But I
I
don't want to get injured here, so I'm gonna take some time to. I've got the Align bands.
Sure.
So I'm gonna fucking stretch my arm out a little bit.
You name the date, and I will be there. What I can tell you is this: after coaching an adult pitch, because I had to throw to both teams. Yeah, dude, it's probably 100 pitches a game, and then practice and all that other shit. Like,
It's not 100 pitches a game.
easily.
No,
and I'll tell you why.
No. I assume you toss the ball 100 times. What I'm saying is you are not exerting your arm 100 times a game.
No, but
You're throwing to 8-year-olds.
Just to even do it, they take it very seriously. You have to go off the fucking mound, and they have a goddamn umpire there for strikes and balls. Like, and if you throw too many balls, then you fuck over the kids, and you have to call them out. I've never been in a more pressure-packed situation because the parents are watching. So if you throw balls, you are fucked in this situation, and they make you stand on the goddamn, literally on the rubber every single time.
You get booed?
Yes. Dude, 100%. There was a kid's family who came up to me afterwards. They were so angry. I can picture the kid in my fucking eyes right now. And before they said anything after the game, I apologized to the parents. I go, super sorry. I was like, your kid is a little shorter than everybody else. I could not hit that strike zone. And I pulled a Bob. I said, to be fair, why in God's green earth are we making it necessary that I have to stand on the fucking rubber from a goddamn mound and do this? Like, that's crazy. Shit, there's pitchers in Major League Baseball who can't hit a fucking strike zone, for Christ's sakes.
Well, when does this season start?
Which one?
This baseball season where you pitch, because I'm coming to every game.
It just ended, so the new one will start in the fall. And I believe this next year is adult pitch as well, and I think then it starts with all the other kids, I believe. But I'll double check it. Either way, just bring a camera out here and I'll fucking chuck a baseball.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about coming to the games where there's a lot of pressure on you and having myself and a number of others heckle you the entire time.
Oh, bro, I'll put it this way. That is so unnecessary because all the parents' eyes are already staring at you. Somebody sent me a video.
Yeah, but I'll rile up the crowd. I'll be like, man, can you believe this fucking guy?
No need.
The whole time.
No need. There was a video that went viral 2 days ago that has like 9 million views on Barstool's thing. Did you see the kid who was walking up dancing to the batter's box?
That was awesome.
Yeah, totally. Right? So I got tagged in that video a million times, and they were like, I guarantee you this is something that fucking you do coaching your kids, Ross. And I go, no. Texas takes baseball so seriously. At the very first game when we moved here from North Carolina, there was parents on the other team that had walk-up music. Each child had a different walk-up song. And they did not play it for the other kids. So like on our team, and I was completely unaware of this, right? As I'm coaching, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And they refused to play music for the other children and everything else. And I was like, oh my God, this is super serious. And the other thing too, and you probably dealt with this growing up, you know how they always give you real team names, like for your teams like the Yankees, the Rangers, everything else? Every other coach in this league, and it's not, if you listen to the show, it's not hard to figure out which one it is. Every other coach in this league bought professional. So one was the Yankees. They were wearing the pinstripes, the stirrups, the whole shit, the dads, and they were throwing. And I was like, oh my God. And then there's walk-up music for it. And so after the game, I go, hey, dude, there was one song by Chris Stapleton that this one kid came up to, and he goes, oh man, he loves Chris Stapleton. That's what gets him real juice to go up there. And I was like, all right, well, shit. I mean, I'm into it. I guess I'm jealous. I thought you couldn't do it. That's all.
I need to get a job umpiring in this league.
Oh, you should. There's one guy, and he's pretty good. He's a kid. He looks about 19 years old. Long red hair. He's got to hide in the shade between innings because it's so goddamn hot here. And he's got a full can of dip, and he wears jeans and cowboy boots for every single game, and it's hot as shit.
There's a dude, I don't know if you follow him, it's a troll account on Twitter called 3 Year Letterman. Mm-hmm. And basically, he trolls everybody in sports and politics. Like some politician will post something and he'll reply to it and say like Benjamin Franklin was the best president in American history, and there's nothing you can say to change that, or like just dumb shit that's not true. So earlier today, he said I got a job coaching or as an umpire in Little League for the summer. And the first kid that came up to bat, I kicked him out of the game because he had a bowl cut, just to set the tone. I think that's what I need to do.
Yes, I would agree. But as far as pressure goes, it got to a point where I just didn't even want to do it anymore because I knew I was going to ruin some kid's Saturday. And one Saturday it was mine. Whatever reason, I just kept throwing low to my own child, and he fucking struck out. And I just sit with him after the game and tell him it's not your fault. Like I'm fucking Robin Williams.
He's the
with
one that
Matt Damon.
He's the one that chose to swing at pitches out of the zone.
No, he didn't. So what happens is you get 5 balls, and then they call the batter out. So it's on the adult pitcher who should not be doing this job to get it over the plate within that strike zone, or the kid is out.
How does that make sense?
Yes,
that's stupid.
Sucks, dude.
Like you just put
sucks. It's so much pressure.
If
a walk.
If the point of having the kid face a pitcher who's actually on the mound, I assume is to get used to that, to learn.
I think so, yeah.
So why wouldn't you learn the fucking strike zone also?
I agree.
Anyways, if a kid hit a dinger off me, I would fucking nail him right in the face the next time. Like, you're not hitting shit off me, even if it's my own kid.
Yeah, it was. It's a big field, so nobody hit it out.
Well, even if they hit the ball hard, or if they came up the middle on me, like you're getting at least brushed back after that.
There was some kids that were pretty fucking goddamn good. Where I was just like, holy shit.
I'll throw fucking breaking pitches. I don't give a shit. Fuck that goddamn.
There was one kid whose parents, they were like, hey, no matter what, always take the first pitch. I don't know what that is. I meant to ask you guys the other day during sports, but why is taking the first pitch? Is that a fucking thing in Major Leagues?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
No, that's stupid.
That's what I think. And they were pissed off. They were like, don't do it.
Tell that to fucking Rahul Acuna.
Does he always swing at the first pitch?
Not always, but he ambushes a lot.
Often. Yeah, he's an ambusher.
Jimmy used to
got
always swing at the first pitch.
Yeah.
Pop up all the time.
Yeah, he did pop up quite a bit.
Well, maybe that's why. Who knows? Who knows? Next up, as interest in COVID wanes, old viruses return to the spotlight. For nearly 2 years now, COVID has been stealing the show from the classic infectious diseases we all grew up with. Now that interest in China's most popular export is on the decline, the old viruses are coming back with hot new makeovers. The past 2 winters were reported to be the mildest flu seasons on record, but flu hospitalizations have begun to increase over the last few weeks, some of which came with an unexpected new side effect, which is fun. This is the adenovirus type 41, previously thought to only cause moderate gastrointestinal illness, is now believed to be the culprit behind the baffling cases of hepatitis in young children. Viruses are also breaking out during seasons that were formerly inactive, such as RSV infections this past summer. Now, some doctors believe it isn't actually the viruses that have changed over the past 2 years, but the humans. COVID restrictions have led to a lack of naturally acquired immunity to common viruses, leaving people susceptible to previously unknown symptoms. That's what I got the feeling with all this shit was, that if you mask up, you're always washing your hands every 10 seconds. By the time it is time to unmask and go out into the real world, I feel like you would just get sick pretty easily.
Yeah, that's why I play in my own shit every day.
Yeah, you have to, right?
In the bathtub.
Yeah. You got to smear it in real good into that skin, too.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you that.
I take several shits a day. One of them, I get in the bathtub and shit everywhere, and I just kind of roll like this.
Like a crocodile rolling over its...
Kind of like that, yeah. You got to do what you got to do. But there's going to be some other conversations about this as well, like what the effect of having a bunch of vaccines in rapid succession, how that might affect your immune system, how mRNA may affect your immune system and things like that. We've got a lot of work to do on that. We'll see how it all turns out.
Yeah, we'll find out. But it's interesting that the flu is back, by the way, because I still have not gotten, and CBS usually does this shit, where they give you updates of like, it's flu season, you ready? Is flu season now just completely gone? And I'm asking it in a serious way.
No, of course not. What do you mean, is it gone?
no one talks about it anymore. So for 2.5 years now, we haven't really had a flu season. Like no flu shots. Nobody's promoting it. The ones that are prevalent on at least our local media, as far as commercials go and everything else, shingles is one of them. Get a shingles vaccination.
Well, that's just chicken pox, right?
I guess so. It's a lot more. I've had it. It's a lot more painful.
But it's the same virus as chicken pox.
Right. And then the other one was pneumonia. Ironically, there's a pneumonia vaccine that I didn't know about.
Really?
Yeah. Which is something that I will probably have to take.
Nah.
I've had it 3 times when I was in the hospital.
You really don't want to introduce anything if you don't have to, probably, right?
I guess. Who fucking knows anymore? Like this monkeypox situation.
Well, there's been not a lot of monkeypox, but monkeypox has been around. There's an outbreak like once every 2 or 3 years since 2010 or something like that.
It's literally endemic in a huge swath of Africa.
Yeah.
Like it just like hangs out.
Monkeypox does?
Yeah, it's not like Ebola. Like it's just there.
Gotcha. How many cases have been reported in the United States? Do you know that?
I've only heard of like 3 or 4.
That's what I thought too.
We'll see. I mean, it looks shitty. I don't want to get it.
Fuck no, I don't want to get it.
Looks like there's been 9.
It looks like there's
9 total in the United States?
9 cases in 7 states.
Okay.
It's weird that it's that widespread, but I wonder if there's if it manifests in a way that doesn't have symptoms in the same way that COVID did for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like you may have the virus, but you don't necessarily manifest the same symptoms because how can 9 people in 7 states that are otherwise unconnected from each other all have it? That seems weird, right? I don't know. I like following these things when everybody's on the level and being honest about it because it's interesting. There's no money to be made in monkeypox. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
The U.S. government bought 14 million vaccinations.
They sure did. They sure did.
And I also don't understand the monkeypox one is so weird because it has something to do with your butthole.
Yeah.
Like I still have not. I've read every fucking thing I can find about that, and I still can't figure out why.
It's all about buttholes these days, dude. It's in. Buttholes are fashionable, dude. And I don't think buttholes have really gotten their due except for this program in general. And Young Hope Sola. We've given her butthole all the praise that it deserves. And there, I have a feeling there's a lot more to come on this show. Literally. Next up, former cartel leader Chapo, El Chapo, has said that he's sad in prison, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, you would think he'd be fine. He's rich.
No.
My understanding is people that have that kind of access to resources or access to violence on the outside have a pretty easy time on the inside.
He's in the Supermax one.
He's in Supermax, though,
He's
Sure.
with the Boston Bomber and Ted Kaczynski. And
yeah, but so the people that work at Supermaxes have families, and they don't stay inside. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but Chapo has 2 sons, right? I think one of them has been arrested, but Chapo has 2 sons, and Mexican National Police were at his compound where one of his sons was in the process of being arrested, right? And he handed the military people the phone, and it was his other brother, I think, on the phone, and he said, hey, here are some photos or video of us at your family's houses right now.
Right.
And if you don't leave my compound, I'm going to kill everybody. And they left.
They left, yeah.
Right? So you have to imagine that he's probably exerting some of that same type of bullshit, you would think, right? But still, it is prison. So
It
how
is.
good can it be?
Yeah, and this is the one in Colorado that Bob was talking about, that crazy Supermax one. To my knowledge, Bob, I think this is the most well-protected prison there is, and
yeah, because he's escaped from federal custody before.
Right.
Maybe because he's such a tiny little man. He's like 5'3".
Oh,
or some
he's
shit
very
like that.
small.
Yeah, he's teensy. He's like
Giorgio's size.
just a little fella.
Yeah.
He's like about the size of that bobblehead on your desk right there.
Oh yeah, he's small. I didn't know. So anyways, they filed a 7-page plea for help from his lawyer, and the former drug lord claims, due to the treatments at AdMax, now I suffer from headaches, memory loss, muscle cramps, stress, and depression. I think he's old, right? I think he's in his 70s, right?
No, I think he's in his 50s, actually.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think hold on, let's look it up.
Bob, how old is El Chapo?
Guzman.
He's 50 or 65. Sorry.
65.
65. Okay. So he's got another fucking 20 in there to go.
Well, not if he's already this fucked up. I mean, it does sound like he's deteriorating, but
Yeah, but how much of that is real and how much is that of I just want to get the fuck out of here?
I'll be honest. Like of all the prisons, this seems like a pretty chill American prison to be in.
You gotta pop up a pic here. Let's see.
I mean, you don't have to worry about being on the yard and getting fucking stabbed all the time.
It's all VIPs.
Probably want to get a ghost bed in there, but
yeah, but I don't know if they let you do that. With
I don't understand why. Like,
right?
if you have the right kind of, why should you not be able to use your money in your canteen to buy better accommodations for yourself?
Is that a shower in the corner?
Yeah, it looks like a shower.
They have
Right?
their own
shower.
standing shower.
It's like modern.
Yeah, and he's got a window in there so people can watch while he's pounding off, which is something I'm into.
Sure, and he's got a chair there. So, Bob, with this one, man, I don't know what show we did when we were talking about going to prison or whatever. If that's the cell, I could probably do 5 or 10 there because I'd at least be able to write every day. And if you have a shower in that motherfucker, you could at least pound off and do whatever you want. Nobody's really going to bother you.
And this is not the type of prison where you're in there with like just crazy dudes from the street who will fuck you up every day. Like it's
Supermax,
It's
yeah.
Ted Kaczynski and the Boston bomber.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. It's not normal prison.
It's like in Avengers. It's like that Avengers movie where they're all...
What's the opposite of Justice League?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's like the Suicide Squad. Or,
Yeah, that's what it feels like. But except the accommodations seem pretty nice. Pretty nice for what's he complaining for?
I don't know.
I mean, the food probably sucks, but
Yeah.
I'm with you. If you have enough money, now that you can go down to commissary and buy whatever the fuck
But
you want.
he's
So
in
what do you
prison
care?
for life, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you were in prison for life, why would you spend any amount of time awake? Like, I would kill myself immediately.
Same.
Like, what's the purpose of that?
I
I'm not
don't
gonna
know.
do that.
I don't know. I'm with you on that. If you're there for life, end it now. Why live out? You know, that's why I talked about that Buffalo shooter. The best thing that can happen to him is to stay alive, because that's going to be fucking 60 years living there and not there. He's going to be in a fucking Gen Pop prison, one would imagine. You don't think so?
No, people like that, especially the racial element, he won't be in Gen Pop.
You think he'll be isolated in something like this?
I mean, I think they should put him in.
Hold on. Also, I got his menu here.
Oh,
for
you do?
food.
Pop it up.
Here's what they serve in Supermax in the ADX.
Okay.
For lunch, foods such as chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, lasagna, burritos, tacos, fish empanadas are included on the menus. Inmates are also offered plain water or a flavored drink.
What?
No
They get
way.
flavored water?
Like bubbly.
That's great.
You get a LaCroix?
Yeah, you get
Maybe.
a nice little LaCroix.
For
dude.
breakfast, they have Danish bread, either hot or cold cereal, and milk.
Okay. That doesn't sound that bad. Now, granted, if you're eating burritos in a prison, you're probably going to shit yourself immediately as soon as that burrito touches your tongue. But whatever, man. You know, you've got
Fish-
your own toilet.
A fish empanada doesn't really sound that good.
No,
Especially a prison one.
if memory serves me correctly, in Colorado in particular, I believe they were getting inmates to do something with the fish. If you can type that in. I felt like we did this story two years ago on news, Dan.
Do something with the fish? What
Yeah,
do
they
you
were
mean?
raising the fish at the prison itself. And they were going not only to the prison, but they were also going to Whole Foods.
Whole Foods was using a prison to farm fish.
Correct. For this.
So they were using prison labor camp to raise tilapia.
Yes.
So much for that whole fair trade thing, huh?
Yeah, there we go. And right in Colorado, right there. But I mean, look, if you're the Unabomber or the other fucking dude, it'd be nice to kind of hang out with fish all day if you were given an hour off. I guess.
I think these people should be. Well, it depends on the nature of the crime. So, Unabomber's been dead for a long time, but the Boston bomber, people that I'm not talking about like selling drugs or something like that, but people that have mass murdered other people, put them in stocks and just like stocks, right?
Sure.
Where you're-
Old school, yeah, medieval
old
shit.
school,
Yep.
And then just their butts available to whomever wants it.
So I like that. I also like.
Especially the fucking Buffalo shooter guy because of the racial element. Just let him rape that motherfucker until there's nothing left of his asshole.
Yeah, I can also go with punishment fits the crime. So take the Boston bomber, for example. Since he's in there for life, and I think, and they put him on the cover of Rolling Stone. I'm sure they'll put the other kid on there in a couple weeks. from Uvalde. But I think with that guy, since he has so much time, because that's another one who's looking at 60-plus years in jail, I think you should blow off one of his body parts like every 2 years and then let him kind of heal up on his own.
Yeah.
Do just enough tourniquet so that he lives and makes it through. No pain meds, no nothing. And then you just kind of systematically blow up another part of his body.
I think if we could just hire Ramsey Bolton and let him be the warden of this prison, right?
Yeah.
The crazy kid from Game of Thrones that cut off Theon Greyjoy's dick and balls and shit like that. Yeah. Just let that.
Yeah.
Just let him continue to do stuff. That would be fun for all of us.
Sure would. Hammer the like button if you're watching on YouTube, and hopefully you're drinking a Hard AF Seltzer from hardafseltzer.com. Let's go, Bob. Throw it up on screen for the kids at home. We got the original flavors still in stock. We will be getting new flavors for the summer, but right now we got the peach, the blue raz, strawberry shortcake, and the lemon lime. 8%. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten. If you give a shit about that, we ship directly to your doorstep in 42 states. We are also currently live at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Tennessee just placed an order yesterday, so it'll start to go out into other places here soon. We'll give you the addresses for all those places pretty certain. But if you're not near that area, just get it shipped to your house. Super easy, and it's a whole goddamn case of 8. The Ocho. Take it to the dome, friends. We only ship in cases, too. 24 cans to your house because we want everyone to party with Hard AF Seltzer. So go to hardafseltzer.com today. Next up, speakers at the WEF sound like James Bond villains. If you don't know what the WEF is, it is the World Economic Forum. It's been mentioned on this network multiple times across all of our shows. And now everybody is starting to cover this in real life, I feel like. But due to the ominous topics discussed at their yearly meeting in Davos. Is it Davos or Davos?
Davos.
There it is. Nailed it.
Yeah, they have. So Jack Posobiec, or however you say his dumb name, got accosted by some of these people for filming them and shit like that. And said I just got detained by the WEF police. And then I think it was Reuters that did a fact check and said there is no WEF police. And then you zoom on the picture and it literally says WEF police on the side of the guy's fucking uniform.
No shit.
So that's tough. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it does have a very Bond villain feel to it, to be honest. Because it's like a bunch of rich and powerful people sitting around like, man, these fucking pores. Yeah. Stupid motherfuckers. We got to do something about these people. Here's what you can do. What we can do is we can put a little chip inside of a pill and give it to them, and then we can force people to comply with stuff. Right. Like a dude literally said that.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Let's fucking do this. If you think your old bitch ass can accomplish that, bring it on over here, right here, and I'll blow the top of your head off with a fucking rifle. How about that? Otherwise, how about you shut the fuck up? Like, at some point, this is going to be really interesting to see how it plays out over the next 10 years or so, because people are going to start picking off these members of Davos for sure.
Yeah, at a certain point, man, this is starting to feel like The Purge or something, like a movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just inevitable that as power concentrates, whether it is locally or federally or globally or whatever it is, power concentrates and corrupts, and it's just the inevitable a side effect of that happening. You know what I mean?
It is, but I always go back to what my wife says. She was like, dude, you want to stay just under the radar, you know? Be a little bit big, a little bit power, but stay just under the radar just enough where they don't fuck with your shit all the time or come to your house.
Yeah, for sure. Here's what, when you say under the radar, I also think about...
So when I say under the radar, I wouldn't go to this meeting. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, you probably shouldn't. So But that's one of the signs of a plan being in its end stage, right? So you protect the nature of the plan for as long as you possibly can, and when you know it's too late for anybody to do anything about it, then you're a lot less careful about what you say in public, and that's the stage we're in right now.
Yeah, it's just, man, you got to know that right now probably isn't the time People are going through some hard shit around the world, and it's like I wouldn't go to this.
Well, now, no, that's the perfect time because people are desperate for solutions to problems. And it's funny, the U.S. government does it as much as anybody else. They like to create problems and then solve them and then take credit for solving the problems they created. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like this story that Chappelle tells of that pimp about how he gets girls to follow him. He beats them with a fucking cable and then
gives them
pain meds
pills
and
and water and all that other shit. Yeah.
So it's, I mean, that's basically where we are right now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope.
They
talked a lot about the carbon footprint stuff too, which is funny because every single one of them flew in on private jets.
Of course, they all fucking do.
And it's not because it isn't because they're hypocrites, by the way. It's because they think that they deserve that and you don't. That's what that is. That's not hypocrisy. It's something worse than hypocrisy. So you should pay more attention to that.
My buddy went to DiCaprio's thing. DiCaprio every year has this fundraiser where they auction things off in France or somewhere in Europe, I forget. And he said 127 private planes were there for this fundraiser for climate change.
Yeah.
And it was just everybody had taken private jets to go to this goddamn thing. That's why I said I wouldn't go to this. Like, you've got to be aware of the optics of it. But I guess when you're that powerful, you just don't care and you think you're above it. So you're like, well, fuck it.
Well,
right?
no, I mean, it's the same thing this is why power corrupts. It's not just because you have the opportunity to leverage things for your own, like, financial good and shit like that. It's because you start to believe that it depends on what century you're living in, but you're ordained by God, or that you're smarter and better suited to handle these issues than everybody else. And if I have to take my private jet to get there, what other option do I have? I have to get there.
Right.
I can't do commercial. I have to do this. It's that important. That's the kind of thought process that goes behind that, and it's fucking super toxic.
Yes, and I asked my buddy, I go, did you question any of these people, whatever, like when you were there? And he goes, yeah, I asked this one guy why. He's pretty famous. And he's just like, oh, I can't fly, commercial fame and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it was a straight shot from New York to where they were going. You can sit in first class, and if anybody asks you where you were going and why, you could at least promote the cause for what you were going to do there.
How often do you even look another person in the face on a plane?
I try not to do it
No.
Right.
Unless it's a hot girl.
No.
That's kind of it, where you're like, all right, usually it's head down the whole way. Everybody enters the plane, and then head up, sleep, and then enough drinks to kind of black out, and that's what a flight is.
Except for Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
well, he was trying
Yeah.
to mind his own fucking business.
No, I mean, that's to say, he's the only one that people are like, hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
I'm never angrier than I am on a plane.
Oh, 100% agree.
That's the angriest I'll ever be, but not for the reasons. Like, yeah, I don't like being that close to people and having to deal with bullshit and being uncomfortable. That sucks. But what I really don't like are hillbillies and crackheads, people that get onto the plane dressed like they're about to take a fucking nap with your slippers on and socks and shit like that. Are you fucking kidding me? Put some fucking clothes on, asshole. This isn't Walmart. It's a goddamn $30 million aircraft. The fuck is wrong with these people?
It's totally true, by the way. I fly with Dan all the time. If you want to see him real pissed off, just take a flight somewhere. It can be nonstop.
Just people.
If there's a layover, forget it.
People that are rude in general and unaware of their surroundings really bother me, because that's the least you can do, is be aware of your impact on other people. So let's say you're in the far left lane and you've got to get off. You don't cut everybody off. You missed your turn, motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
You safely navigate your way into the lane and go upstream a little bit and turn around or whatever it is. You look behind you after you go through a doorway to see if somebody else is coming. These are very basic things that people can do to be considerate about others around them. And as much of a piece of shit, angry motherfucker as I am, I always do that.
Yeah. No, you're a great travel companion. You were very polite. You were neat. You were to yourself, and you have all the snacks and trinkets, and usually the best drugs on the plane. So there is a story that I'm going to add here that is not in here. I wanted to ask you about it. Outrage as the NRA is about to gather in Houston just days after the Texas school massacre, just days after the deadliest mass shooting in Texas history. the National Rifle Association, America's leading gun lobbyist group, will meet a few hours away in Houston on Friday, which is tomorrow. I wanted to get your thoughts of whether or not this should still continue in Texas, being that we are 2 days removed from this, and the NRA is having a convention on Friday. A lot of people are pulling out right now. Should they just cancel it in general?
I don't think. What exactly is it the NRA does?
I don't know, and that's why I'm asking you.
I mean, Gun Policy Coalition is the organization that actually gets bills passed and pushes the judicial branch and legislative branch to actually do stuff. The NRA doesn't do a goddamn thing. I mean, it started as the purpose of the NRA used to be to teach kids about weapons safety. Now, the fucking president's name is Wayne LaPierre, man. Like, how am I supposed to take that seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. No, they're a bunch of cunts. The NRA is a fucking joke. All they do is the NRA is BLM for guns. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's a completely useless organization. So I don't really give a fuck what they do, to be honest.
Yeah, and as I'm reading here further on, so it says in this article, according to The Guardian, the NRA is a powerful lobbying organization in American politics, spending nearly $5 million in 2021 to pressure lawmakers to oppose measures like universal background checks for gun sales and bans on powerful assault weapons. Now, I hate to sound flippant here, but I'm not. $5 million isn't that much money to be donating to these places to really give a fuck about the NRA. If it was fucking $20 million, sure. But $5 million, and you're trying to spread that out across all these states, that doesn't really fucking do anything, or it shouldn't at least.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that I don't think that organizations should be allowed to lobby members of Congress. I don't believe they should be able to spend money to that effect.
Me neither.
I don't think that people, individuals, or corporations should be allowed to give money to politicians. There's a show tomorrow on American Party about the Iron Triangle, which is the three elements of government corruption. It is the elected official, the member of Congress, or whoever that happens to be, the bureaucrat, the person that works at Homeland Security or the DOD, and then the private company. This triangle, right, that has siphoned trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars from the American public over the last 30 years or so, right? And $5 million, it's a lot of money. But it's not just...
But you got to think about it. Spread out over 50 states, is it?
Well, it's not really spread out over 50 states because California isn't doing a whole lot about guns. You know what I mean? So it's kind of concentrated in certain areas.
Okay.
But yeah, there's... tune in for American Party tomorrow. You'll see exactly how this entire process works. And you can take any... We spend a lot of time talking about the military-industrial complex, but you can use this to figure out how it works with healthcare, pharmaceuticals, vaccines, things like this, and how entirely corrupted our entire political system is. I think spending money as an individual or a business on, like if you want to go run a campaign for somebody, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit about that. But people giving money, like I outlined very clearly how Lockheed Martin and Raytheon specifically, because of the Stinger missile and the Javelin missile system, how money is going directly from Lockheed, its executives, in a PAC that they run, to members of Congress, directly to them. Like, this should be completely illegal.
Is Coop on that show tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. I enjoy when you guys sit down together and chat. Last but not least here, virtual murder should be illegal, according to a UAE minister with multiple companies working on advancing virtual reality technology. More discussions are being held to debate how to handle virtual crimes. Now, previously, which we talked about on this show, a woman wrote an article describing her experience of being sexually assaulted in an early version of the metaverse, leading to debates about whether or not it was actually an assault. Thankfully, the benevolent masterminds at the WEF discussed the topic this year in between sacrificing babies and orchestrating the next global catastrophe. One of the speakers at Davos this year who expressed his beliefs about the dangers of violence in virtual worlds could not be more hypocritical or ironic. The Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence for the United Arab Emirates, last name Olama, I'm just going to go with that and leave that there, told the gathering that the United Nations should create new laws making murder and other violent crimes illegal in the metaverse. He went on to explain that a mean text message can be brushed aside, but, and this is in quotes, if I come into the metaverse and I actually murder you and you see it, it actually takes you to a certain extreme where you need to enforce aggressively across the world because everyone agrees that certain things are unacceptable.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if anybody knows about what's acceptable and not, it's the United Arab Emirates, where
yeah, it's Khashoggi.
They have the death penalty. Well, that's Saudi Arabia, but UAE still has the death penalty for gay people. Women don't have any rights to really speak of there. I mean, it's pretty interesting that a guy, and this is the kind of attitude at these meetings, this Davos meeting. So it's not about right and wrong. It's about control of the population. We don't care about individual things. I don't care about gay people, for example. I don't care about people having liberty or rights or governments having any kind of humanitarian standards. I just care about being able to get the resources I want and control the population. That's what this WEF shit is all about. And that's why a guy like this who has executed gay people can say something like that to thunderous applause in front of a bunch of Western leaders.
So what I don't understand is you take games like Call of Duty and all that other shit, GTA, everything else, right? We've been murdering people in video games for years and years and years.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go do it tonight, actually.
Yeah. So why does it matter in the metaverse? Is it because your avatar got killed and not the other people? Like, I'm not really following the reasoning or logic behind that and why it is different than a video game just because you have a headset on.
I guess another question is why do you even have the ability in the metaverse to rape or murder someone? Like why does that even exist? If that's something that you don't want to happen, you can just code it as such, right?
That's what I don't understand either. Yeah.
Very bizarre.
Like, why not code against it? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Because they don't want to do that. They want to fucking criminalize behavior. It's not about any of that other stuff. It's about criminalizing your behavior.
But how is it different if you do it, if you kill somebody in a video game? I don't get it.
I have no fucking idea.
I don't either. Because this is just a video game you put on your fucking head.
Yeah, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
And you're just looking at an avatar that remotely looks like you as a child. It's not that realistic, so I'm not really sure what everybody's bitching about. Yeah, strange. Next up, we got the Drinkin' Bro of the Week here. This was submitted by Joe Harrington. He says, "Greetings, you sexy fucks. I'd like to nominate a fellow Drinkin' Bro for Drinkin' Bro of the Week, Matthew King. I ran into him on one of your group pages, and the man has inspired me to become stronger, to love life, to pour my shots a little stiffer, and to genuinely experience the world around me. I guess it should be really you guys, since I met him through you, but this man has kept me sane the past few weeks. When I thought I couldn't handle my life anymore, he was there living his. Thank you for what you guys are doing, and for him in particular, living a life worth living. Very respectfully grateful. I've never seen that as a sign-off before. Joe Harrington."
I wonder,
Thank you, Joe. That's nice.
So his name's Matt
King. Matthew King, yes.
So if his middle name was
Luther?
NEL, I would sign MLK to everything. If that were me, I'm just saying.
Matthew Luther King? I hope it is, dude. I hope this is MLK that we're talking about.
That'd be fun.
It'd be a blast. You can submit your Drinkin' Bro of the Week to us on drinkinbros.com. While you're there, peruse the store. We've got hats. All the new hats are in there. The flex fits are amazing. I'm actually ordering some more because I fucking ruined one the other day. And the flags are awesome. They're finally here. They're finally up in the store, and they are finally for sale. Go there and support the show and buy some merch. We greatly appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Joel Hodge for that opener. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Big fan of the fake news
good.
opener. It's nice. There we go. Raise the applause. There you go, Joel. Appreciate you tuning in. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, go to Spotify, where we are on video there. Now, that is just simply pressing a 5-star and walking away and enjoying your life. Do that. That's really all the advertisers give a shit about. We love you guys. We appreciate you tuning in every single week. American Party will be on this show tomorrow, or on this channel tomorrow. What time is that show?
It'll be noon.
Noon?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And then quick reminder for the audience, we are off Memorial Day because we do not profit off of our dead friends. So we will have no shows on the network across the board. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Find some friends, find some loved ones, and enjoy the Saturday and Sunday that you have off here. For D'Anthony and D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.